Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are peeling back the layers on one of the most enigmatic, intimidating, and honestly misunderstood villains in the entire Naruto universe. We're talking about Kisame Hoshigaki. For a guy who literally looks like a walking nightmare, there is a profound, almost heartbreaking depth to his story that so often just gets totally overlooked. So let's dive right into it.
Now here's a question the fandom has been debating for years. What exactly is Kisame? I mean, just look at the guy. He's got gills, razor-sharp teeth, bright blue skin. Fans across the forums have gone absolutely wild with theories. Is he some kind of misplaced fishman, a twisted genetic experiment cooked up by Orochimaru, or maybe just a bizarre freak of nature born with a crazy genetic phenotype? Well, while the series never actually hands us a textbook biological breakdown, what we do know for sure is that his monstrous exterior perfectly mirrors the terrifying persona he projects to the rest of the world.
And honestly, nothing captures that surface-level terror quite like his own chilling words to Itachi. He says, "The pups start eating each other within the mother's womb, viewing everything they see as nothing more than prey." Just let that chill your bones for a second. This wasn't some spooky campfire story. This was Kisame laying out his fundamental worldview. From his perspective, the world is just a giant tank of predators, and inherent betrayal is simply a cold, hard fact of life from the very second you're born.
Section 1. Monster of the Hidden Mist.
Section 2. Samehada, the sentient sword.
The sheer contrast here is just staggering. You know, a normal sword is a tool forged from steel, designed for a clean, precise cut. But Samehada? No way. It's a living, breathing, terrifying entity all wrapped up in bandages. Just like Kisame proudly boasts, his massive blade doesn't slice, it literally shreds its victims to ribbons. Plus, it possesses a mind of its own, basically turning whoever wields it into a force of absolute devastation.
Let's break down exactly what makes this sword so uniquely terrifying. First off, Samehada literally devours the chakra of its opponents. As it feeds, it grows larger and uncoils those bandages. And it's incredibly picky, too. If someone it deems unworthy tries to pick it up, spikes shoot right out of the handle to shred their hands. But the most terrifying trait of all? It can actually transfer the chakra it eats back to Kisame, instantly healing his fatal wounds and supercharging him. It's a truly symbiotic relationship.
And this brilliantly illustrates why Kisame earned the terrifying nickname of the Tailless Tailed Beast, or the Zero Tails. Because of his own naturally massive chakra pool, combined with Samehada's ability to just endlessly feed him stolen energy, Kisame essentially had the stamina and raw power of a walking weapon of mass destruction. He didn't need a demon fox sealed inside him, you know? He and his sword were the monster.
Section 3. The failsafe and the traitor.
Now, the intended purpose of his partnership with Itachi is just completely full of dramatic irony. Obito actually assigned Kisame to be Itachi's watchdog. He was literally a failsafe placed there to kill the Uchiha prodigy the second he showed any signs of treachery. Yet, the actual reality was wildly different. Instead of some volatile, tense rivalry, these two formed the most stable, professional, and deeply respectful partnership in the entire Akatsuki. They actually bonded over their shared trauma of having murdered their own comrades.
But you might be wondering, why was Kisame chosen as the watchdog in the first place? Well, he was the absolute perfect counter to the Sharingan. Because Samehada was an independent, sentient consciousness, it could forcibly snap Kisame out of Itachi's visual genjutsu just by injecting him with chakra. It's actually very much like how the Eight Tails could snap Killer Bee out of illusions. Obito knew Kisame was literally the one man equipped to put Itachi down if things went south.
Section 4. Seeking a World of Truth. To Kisame, the entire shinobi system was simply a world of lies. Back in the Hidden Mist, he was tasked with guarding an intelligence squad. His secondary objective? Kill his own comrades if they were ever in danger of being captured. And he did it. He dutifully, agonizingly slaughtered his own teammates just to protect the village's secrets. But the real breaking point came when he discovered his commanding officer, Fuguki, was treasonously selling those exact same secrets to the enemy. Everything Kisame had sacrificed his humanity for was a complete lie.
And that is exactly when Obito, operating from the shadows and posing as Madara, swooped in. Obito offered this broken, disillusioned soldier a brand new purpose: the Eye of the Moon plan. By casting a global illusion, Obito promised to create a world without lies, without betrayals, and without all that agonizing pain Kisame had endured. For the very first time in his life, Kisame had a cause he could truly believe in.
This really builds a massive contrast between Kisame and the rest of the Akatsuki. I mean, think about it. You had Hiden killing for a cult, Kakuzu doing it for cash, Daira for explosive art, and Sasori for his weird puppet obsessions. Mostly selfish, individualistic goals. Kisame, on the other hand, he was operating on a tragic, principled dedication to ending a world built on lies. He was actually one of the very few who knew and genuinely fought for the organization's true endgame.
Section 5. A Loyal Shinobi's End.
Kisame's last stand features some of the most brutally hyper-competent final moments of any character in the entire series. After being defeated and captured by Might Guy, the allied shinobi forces dive into Kisame's mind to extract Akatsuki's secrets. To snap himself out of the mind-reading jutsu, Kisame literally bites his own tongue off. He then uses sheer willpower to shatter his wooden restraints, traps himself in a water prison, and willingly feeds himself to his own summoned sharks.
This wasn't just some desperate attempt to escape, it was a perfectly executed final mission. Step 1. Commit suicide so the enemy gets absolutely zero intel from him. Step 2. Even in the excruciating throes of death, he manages to successfully summon a shark to secretly carry a scroll back to Obito, a scroll containing the exact coordinates of Naruto and Killer Bee. He won, even by dying.
And as he died, he reflected on a past conversation with his partner, leading to this incredibly poignant quote. "Itachi, it seems that in the end, I'm not so terrible after all." This just brilliantly bookends his entire story. It proves he wasn't just a mindless, cannibalistic monster driven by bloodlust. He was a fiercely loyal soldier who, when the chips were down, stuck to his principles and laid down his life to protect his comrades and his cause.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to ponder. Given the horrific things the ninja villages forced their people to do, slaughtering friends, selling secrets, treating human lives as disposable tools, was Kisame really the monster? Or was he simply the only honest man in a brutally corrupt shinobi system that forged him? Let that sink in for a bit. Thank you so much for joining me today on this explainer. Keep asking the tough questions, and I will catch you on the next one.